Hello everyone, Dartigan here, creator of GameSins, or one of them anyway. 2024 marks my 10th year creating GameSins on YouTube, and after several years of creating content while relying solely upon ad revenue to pay the bills, I finally decided to create a Patreon, where I try to convince you to give me a few hard-earned bucks in exchange for exclusive content found nowhere else but the sketchy content leak sites you're such a fan of. I could have taken on paid sponsors like so many other channels, but I'd rather work for the people who take the time to watch and enjoy my content instead of companies that I'm pretty sure none of us want the products of. You just skip past those sponsorships anyway, and I'm proud of your commitment to sticking it to corporations and your rock-solid belief in insert political ideology here. You're the rebellion in the face of relentless ads, and for that, you deserve a salute. Go team viewer. But I'm not treating Patreon like a tip jar where I give you my eternal gratitude in exchange. Frankly, you don't deserve my eternal gratitude, but you do deserve something for your money, and that's why I'm happy to announce that patrons will have access to 2 brand new Sin series. Not low-effort content like behind-the-scenes spam or video Q&As, but more of the content you already enjoy from me. I'm putting in the effort, like a real man who has a beard and drives a motorcycle. 2 things I don't have, but admire in other people. Classic Sins. Does your back hurt when you think of those old games you grew up playing? There's a whole backlog of games that were released before my cutoff date of 20 years that up until now I haven't sinned, but they can now have their day with your help. These games might make you feel old, but their sins are timeless. The first episode of Classic Sins is already available on the Patreon, covering the original Silent Hill. Other Classic Sins videos I have planned for the future include Silent Hill 3, Dino Crisis, Shenmue, Grand Theft Auto 3, Grand Theft Auto Vice City, Resident Evil 3, Parasite Eve, Star Wars KOTOR, Deus Ex, Half-Life 2, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, Grim Fandango, and a whole lot more. I'll even take patron suggestions into account when choosing the next classic game to cover. DLC Sins. I will send the DLC content for games I've already sent here on YouTube. DLC videos have been a major request for years now, and I'm happy to finally charge money for additional content, just like the publishers we hate, all while being a big believer in insert economic theory here. The first episode of DLC Sins is available now on Patreon, covering Resident Evil 4 separate ways. Here is just a short list of other DLC I plan to send in the future. The Last of Us Left Behind, Final Fantasy VII Intergrade, Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty, Bioshock Burial at Sea Parts 1 and 2, Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, Mortal Kombat 11, Resident Evil Village Shadow of Rose, Resident Evil 7's DLC, and many more. As long as insert economic theory here reigns, publishers, without fail, will continue to pump out DLC for me to send. And that's not all. On top of Classic Sins and DLC Sins, patrons will also see their name in the credits of GameSin videos here on YouTube, as well as have early access to new, uncensored GameSins episodes, so jokes that I couldn't say, or imagery that I couldn't show, will now be available. You can watch everything wrong with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth right now on Patreon, a few days before it'll go up on YouTube. I'll also be making bonus video content not related to Sin videos, along with the aforementioned behind-the-scenes spam, such as Sins that didn't make the cut for videos, and occasional video Q&As. Since I'm a big believer in people not having to pay the fan tax, you receive all of that for the low price of just $3. The money earned on Patreon will go toward living expenses, but also improving production quality and speed. Hiring a video editor instead of doing all the editing myself will free up more time to get to work on the next video before the current one has even been released. And by hiring a co-writer to speed up script writing, maybe the soul that fled me years ago will return once it knows I've finally removed some of the work stress. I hope this was transparent and forthcoming about my plans for Patreon. If I didn't convince you to become a patron this time, then perhaps one of the many shilling lines I place into my future GameSin videos on YouTube will. I will wear down your resolve, because this deal only gets better over time as more and more exclusive content is made. Thanks for watching for all of these years and allowing me to entertain you. I hope to do so for many more years to come.